back to Sure is Good. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all of that. Today we're going to do some Asian fusion, and we are going to make some shrimp lo mein. Okay, so here are the ingredients that we are going to be going with. We are going to use oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, teriyaki sauce. This is a low sodium soy sauce. We're gonna use, this is a 100% grape seed oil. I'm gonna put some spinach in it. We're gonna use our pepper and onion blend. And we're going to, here's our shrimp. And we're going to use linguine, okay? This is probably something like people are more likely to have in their house other than lo mein noodles. So we're gonna use with things that we normally would have in the house. So linguine it is. So of course, to start, we're gonna put on the linguine. We already have our water boiling in the back. So I'm going to take out a handful of noodles. And I'm going to break my noodles in half, and I'm going to drop them in the pot. I'm breaking them in half because I don't like the long noodles swinging around, slapping you in the face when you're trying to suck them up, trying to eat them. So here we go. We're just going to drop these noodles right into this pan, and I like linguine noodles because for any noodle that is like a flatter, more wider noodle, not too wide, but wider than you like regular spaghetti noodle. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of oil into the noodles. Just a little drop. Doesn't even have to be a spoonful. It could be a teaspoonful. And I'm always going to use my X spoon here, and I'm going to just poke the noodles around to break them up. Poke around the pot just to break and separate the noodles so that they don't stick together. If you separate them from the beginning, you don't really have much of a problem with them sticking together as they're cooking. So we're gonna mix them up. Make sure they all get nice and wet and separate these noodles. See, just okay. While that's going on in the background, we are going to prepare our veggies to go into the pasta while the pasta is boiling. I'm gonna open my onion pepper blend. So this blend is just red peppers, green peppers, and onion. And I like to use this because it's quick and easy. I don't have to chop up. I don't have to do as much chopping. So I'm just gonna pour some of these onto my chopping board because I want to, as you can see, they're like little, they're chunks, but they're a little bit more, they're a little bit larger than I want them to be. So I want to just make them a little finer. So I'm going to put just a bunch here, and I'm just going to chop them into little cubes to just add some extra nutrition and deliciousness and flavor to this lo mein. Right? We just want to have some vegetables, some type of vegetable in the food you make, in the dishes you make, right? So chop these up. Watch your fingers. So I use frozen vegetable blends and mixes because it stays longer. doesn't, as long as it's frozen, it doesn't go bad unless it actually freezes too long. It could get freezer burnt, but usually you have a pretty good lifespan on it. And another reason I use it is because when you're cutting onions, there's no juice splashing in your eyes, making you cry, burning your eyes out. So now that I have that chopped, I'm gonna put it in my little container here. Okay. Yep, get it all over the counter. Put it in my container here, and alright, so we can see I have a little plastic container that it fits in. This is about the amount you want to go with. And I'm going to add, my spinach. I'm just going to add the spinach. This stuff is getting ready to go into the pot, but I'm going to add the spinach to this just because I want to make sure that I don't add too much. So I just want to have enough of these two things together to fill up this bowl, this container. If I have more than my fill, it's going to be too much. Okay, so this is a good amount. Just a little bit more. All right, so here we go. That's a good amount. Now I'm going to put this in a pan, and I'm just going to cook this up a little bit so that the flavors blend together. It gets seasoning, the flavors blend together, and it's I don't want to just add the frozen into the boiled pasta. So I'm going to put it in this pan, oil in this pan. In the pan, and I am going to add some of this grapeseed oil, about 2 spoonfuls grapeseed oil. I'm going to add my garlic. Of course, the top is what fell in the garbage, so we just want to sprinkle this in, you know, like that there. There we go. Make sure you see it. If you see it across the top, then you know you got a good amount in there. You're good to go. We're going to use this oregano up in here. Okay. I'm going to add that oregano. See it across the top, you know you're good to go. All right. So now I'm going to add onion powder. All right. Fantastic. So now let's put this on the fire and let's start heating this up. Make sure your flame is under the pot, not jumping up around the sides. Okay, so we have them in here. As you can see, my noodles are boiling up here. They're getting nice and limber. You want them to fluff up, and they're gonna get like a paler color. And that's how you're gonna know when the noodles are ready. But I'm just gonna stir them a little bit and as you can see, they're not sticking together. So I'm just gonna stir them up just a little bit, right? And over here, we have our veggies. These are cooking up good. So another reason I'm going to heat these veggies up is because when they're frozen, they tend to be a little more limp. when they thaw out. They don't have. You're not gonna get that crunch from biting an onion or from biting a vegetable. And the only two times you don't get a crunch is when the vegetable is overcooked or if it's frozen. Actually make that 3 times. If you waited too long and it already started wilting and going bad. So here we have it. Now I'm definitely going to taste this and make sure it has enough flavor. Okay, so it has enough of the flavors that we added. But I am going to add a little bit of adobo to bring the flavors out some more. Add some adobo. And that definitely made a difference. All right. So now we're back to our noodles, and these noodles are cooking up really good. So these noodles are going to need just a few more minutes to cook. And as soon as they're ready, then we are going to add our veggie mix with our noodles, and we are also going to add our shrimp. Okay, so now our pasta is ready. We can turn that off. We're gonna strain the pasta. Make sure we strain all the water off the pasta. All right, so let's get some mitts. Got oven mitts, and let's strain this pasta. Get the spoon. Strain that pasta. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to take this pasta, I'm going to put it in a bowl. Put the pasta in a bowl. Just for a second. And I'm going to put some oil in here. I'm going to put oil in the pot. Just a little. And I'm going to add the shrimp. Just make sure there's no water in your shrimp. Now, your shrimp have to be clean. I take the tails off. I don't like the tails on my shrimp. I take the tail off. I take the shell off, everything, including the tail, and make sure the shrimp are deveined, washed, everything. So my shrimp are clean, and I'm going to pour my shrimp in here. Now I tell you, making this at home, one of the advantages is that you actually get a good amount of shrimp. You can put in as much shrimp as you want and not feel like, man, there's not much shrimp in here, which usually happens when you buy it from, those takeout places. I'm going to add an onion. I'm going to add a little garlic. I'm just going to add those two, just to give the shrimp its own flavor. Stirring it up. Hot. Switch over. Switch over here so you can see it better. Okay. When the shrimp turns pink, then the shrimp is done. So one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to overcook your shrimp. So as soon as it turns pink, even though it's done when it turns pink, we're gonna add the rest of these ingredients and continue to cook it. So it's gonna actually, adding the rest of these ingredients are actually gonna lift the shrimp up from being directly on the bottom. And since everything else is also cooked, you don't really need to cook this stuff anymore. You just wanna leave it in there, leave it in there with the fire on so that you can mix the rest of the ingredients and everything blends in together, giving it the taste, giving it the taste and everything, bringing everything together correctly. Right? Right, so I'm just flipping these shrimp over so that they're not, so that they can get cooked on, completely cooked as fast as possible. And I can add the other ingredients without the shrimp getting overcooked. Okay. Alright, those shrimp are cooked. They're not like pink, they're not like a hard pink as you can see, but they are white instead of being that like translucent color. They are more of a whitish, pinkish, and that's done. So now I'm going to add my pasta. I'm going to add the vegetable mix. And I'm going to add mustard oil. Let's add about 2 teaspoons of oil. I'm going to add my teriyaki sauce. I'm going to sprinkle that in there. Not too much, maybe like 2-3 teaspoons of that. I'm going to add the soy sauce. I'm going to add about 2-3 teaspoons of that. And I'm going to stir this all together now. Now normally you would add like an oyster oil to this to make it taste like what you're used to tasting in fast food takeout. But I don't have oyster oil, so that's why we're just adding the grapeseed oil. You can add grapeseed oil. You can also use extra virgin olive oil. Okay. All right. So let's keep it simple. Okay. So far so good. I'm just going to add a little bit more soy sauce, and a little bit more teriyaki. So I like mine to be very flavorful, full of flavor. And I'm going to add some more grapeseed oil. Spoonfuls, a little bit more onion powder, just a little bit. And I'm always going to make sure, that I add the oregano. And I'm always going to make sure I add that garlic. The garlic is what's going to make sure that it's healthy and it's not too salty. You're not getting any. Alright, let's stir this up. Look at that. Wow. Alright. Here we go. And voila. Let's just Stir it up good so it's all mixed in well. Wow, the smell. So now I am going to, there you go. Let's put this, let's plate this up so and see how it turned out. So I'm gonna just give like a little sample of this to our taste tester. We got a special tester today. My mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi.
All right. Now she is going to give this a taste and give you she's going to give us a review. All right. It's hot. Here you go. Take it easy. It's hot. Be careful. All right. Let us know how it tastes. Okay everyone, thanks for watching. We're sure you will enjoy the recipes that we share with you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. And make sure you always watch them all to the end. Good night.